Okay, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to you. My name is James Sanderson. It's my enormous pleasure to be your host this evening. A particularly warm welcome to everyone who attended the conference, and particularly an amazing welcome to everyone who attended the conference for the first time. I've got to tell you that my feeling after the conference was I was stunned. I was stunned by what I saw. All the years I've been in, and I've been in for 27 years, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything in terms of the potential, in terms of the company, in terms of the relative success of individuals. I've never seen anything in terms of the international expansion that we've got coming up. And I've never seen anything like it in terms of what our product is doing and also the new products that are coming on. So, to my mind, whilst, I have always been hugely excited about everything that we're doing, I don't quite know how to explain how I feel now, because it has just gone beyond anything I've ever experienced before. So we're off in new territory now, but it is beyond all imagination in terms of where we're going. So extremely warm welcome to everyone. So let me just tell you what's going to be happening on the call. We're going to start off with an overview of the conference. Michelle Wilkie is going to take us through actually what happened and a bit of a review. I am then going to introduce some people who are going to give us their personal feedback on what they felt from the conference. And then we're going to go into a section toward the end where we're going to talk about the next steps. What are the next steps for the next 90 days? And I'm going to interview Gordon Wilkie on what he thinks are the next steps that everybody should be giving their attention to. So without further ado, we've got 73 people on the call right now, which is so exciting. I'm going to now take us straight over to Michelle Wilkie, who is in Portugal. Michelle, are you there?
I am here, James. Hello, everybody.
You are
Good evening.
Wonderful. Good evening. And Michelle, it was so wonderful to see you at the conference. And, I know that you've been to a number of different conferences. Of course you have, over many, many years. But can you just, first of all, give us your impression? And then can you take us through what actually happened on the conference, just in case we've got people on the call tonight who weren't there?
Well, I have to say, having been to many, many conferences over the last 14 years, this was by far, for me, the best conference ever. I mean, it just had everything. I think the substance, from the speakers, just knowing what we've got coming, the future is so secure, seeing the recognition, there was just so much, I can't almost put it into words, I'm so excited about it all. But it really was a phenomenal conference in so many different ways. So it started on the Friday, the main conference started on the Friday after the NMD conference on the Thursday. And no better person than Dr. Nigel Eccles. And, his talks, I think every talk I've heard from Nigel, I've said, Nigel, that was absolutely fantastic. I think that was your best talk ever. And I said it again to him, and I laughed as I said it, because I said, I always say it. But I think this was really fantastic. Again, there was so much substance to the talk, but he delivers it in such an easy to understand way for all of us lay people. If you don't have a medical background, he still makes it incredibly easy to understand. So that was very exciting. And I know when I spoke to a lot of other people about, especially the healthcare professionals, that stood out for them too. Then the next speaker was Manfred Lamprecht, and he delivered his presentation on the scientific studies. And I think that is so important for us, to be able to say, we all love Juice Plus. We've all got incredible testimonials. We've all got wonderful stories. But Juice Plus is backed by scientific evidence. And there are now 35 different studies, which is phenomenal for a company to have that sort of length and depth and breadth of science behind it, with, what was even more exciting, so many more studies to come, and really exciting studies linking brain health and the microbiome and lots of things that are very, very relevant. So that was incredibly exciting. That was then followed by James Knight, our James Knight, hosting the sports panel, and he did a phenomenal job there. James, I've always said you're the host with the most, but I think now James Knight is hot on your heels. But yeah, he did a fantastic job, and that was great. And I think particularly it's fantastic to see these sports people who, in their own field of sort of fairly extreme sport, realise the value and the benefits of Juice Plus, and take it, to help them compete at the very high levels of sport that they're competing in. The next couple for me were very good, because I think Seamus and Mary Penrose delivered a presentation on the nuts and bolts of our business, and they really come from the same position of us as distributors. They keep it incredibly simple, but it's a very simple step to follow, because what we do, I'm not saying it's easy, but there is a simple format which we know works, and they delivered it in a fantastic way. The next bit, which I think is fantastic, our company is amazing at recognising everybody that has achieved the positions that they want to. And the next bit was all of the recognition, seeing people on stage, which is always lovely. So that was the recognition from SDD right up to Senior Sales Coordinator. Then we had our CEO and president of the company, Dan Holtzman. So that's always great, just to give us an overview of what's going on within the company and what's happening. And then we had our team dinner, which I have to say was a huge highlight. And we were totally honoured to have Jay Martin, John Blair, Mark Ledoux, and Doug Barlow with us. And they all got up and shared. We thought we were going to be a few moments, a few words of wisdom, but to have them really deliver, little presentations to us was absolutely incredible and way beyond anything that we'd expected. I mean, I'm just totally gutted that we hadn't expected it and nobody recorded it, because it would have been fantastic to be able to share that with everybody that wasn't there. So we got some, massive, words of wisdom and inspiration and golden nuggets from, absolute legends. And, we were really honoured to have them with us. So that was a massive highlight for us. And then Saturday kicked off with one of my favourite doctors, Dr. Mitra Ray. Obviously, Mitra's come up with the Transform 30, and I know so many of us follow her programme. And her presentation was, again, something that, was really, really, hot on the sort of present moment, if you like, with what she delivered. Going on from there, we had Jay. So, obviously, I think for Jay, he is just the most inspirational leader ever. His foresight and his vision is just absolutely incredible and second to none. So to hear Jay speak, I mean, his stories just flow, and it's always just wonderful just to listen to, where we've been and where we're going, knowing that the company is going for the last 40 odd years, and we're, I'm sure we're safe for another 40 odd years plus. Following on from there, the Rising Star panel hosted by Olivia Measures, who is just a little superstar in her own right, and always very, very entertaining. So that's always great to see people that haven't been in the business that long, but really to see, what they've achieved and where they're going. And that's, I think, a total inspiration for anybody that's new in the business, to know that they can really, as long as they've got vision, they've got belief in themselves, they can take this business whatever, however big they dare to dream. And following on from that, I've got to look at the programme, because the weekend is still just sort of a whirl of excitement and wonderful speakers. But following on from that, I think I'm right in saying then that we had Jeff Roberti, who, I mean, my goodness, that man is just, a total legend. And his excitement every single time I've heard him, I mean, his enthusiasm, his excitement, his vision is just totally inspiring. And I've heard him speak so many times, and yet every single time I've even heard a lot of what he said so many times before, and yet it still fills you with emotion, excitement. He really does get you totally moved and pumped. So he's pumped on stage, and he can't fail to totally inspire that whole audience. So that was a whole, an absolute highlight. And then we broke for lunch and sort of kicked off the afternoon then with Sven and his sort of what he calls his 7 transformational paradigms, which it's always a good sort of insight into sort of understanding where we're at with our own sort of personal development and how to keep it all in balance, because it's so important to stay grounded with this and to really understand what's important to all of us. And he does that absolutely fantastically well. I think there's nobody better to show us all of that. Then the next panel, with 250 years of experience. I mean, that is a real panel of legends. And, I noticed Birgit's on the call here this evening. So welcome, Birgit. And it was fantastic to see you share your wisdom on that panel, along with Bob and Sue Burdick, our very own upline, and my husband, Gordon Wilkie, was on the panel, along with Sponko from, he shares his residence between Canada and Serbia and lots of places. He travels the world constantly. And who else? And Eddie O'Shaughnessy from Ireland, and Doug, Mitra's husband, was also on there. So a fantastic panel to really share their wisdom, and so many golden nuggets came from them. And then that was followed with a little bit more recognition, which again is fantastic. And I know I'm sort of being pushed for time here. So Gordon Hester, who did a magnificent talk on the business side and where we're going, and really showing us the future with network marketing and how to build a real financially secure future. And then it just finished off with Sinead Kavanagh, who is just a superstar in the Juice Plus world, and I think a total inspiration of what she's achieved in such a short period of time, and without a doubt what she's going to go on to continue to achieve. So, wrapping that up, James, I'm sorry I sort of overran there, but there was so much about the whole weekend. It was really hard to keep it succinct and put it into a very small thing. But I think the other thing, just to make, it was the unity of the whole conference and the professionalism that, this is a business that's based, it's a health business. It's not a weight loss company. It's, it's the capsules. And I really felt that came over on this from this particular conference, and the unity between all of the different teams. And I think that's really nice and very important to take us forward as a company.
Great. Okay. All right, Michelle, that's amazing. Very succinct, and really, frankly, 15 minutes is not enough time, is it, really, to do justice to it at all? But that was a very, very lovely, succinct overview. Good. All right. So now let's go on, and I'm going to introduce some people who perhaps haven't spoken before. So, but we're really interested in to hear what they have to say. So, in no particular order, Sophia Picknell. Sophia, could you unmute yourself? I know you. Hello. Hi, so, Sophia. I'm going to ask you some questions, so we'll be quite
okay.
Right. So don't worry, we're not going to have you on for ages and ages. I can't quite see you there. Are you there? If you just keep, you'll come up on your. Oh, well done. Great. Well done.
I'm here.
So, Sophia, tell us a little bit. First of all, was this your first conference?
Yeah, it was. I've only been in the business since January, so
okay, yeah. Okay, good. All right. So just tell us a little bit about your impressions. What did you feel about it?
Oh, sorry. I was completely and utterly mind blown. It was so crazy. Just the sheer kind of enormity of it all. And I kind of really realised that I knew we were about helping people anyway, but this kind of conference made it so clear that our main goal is to help people. We're not in the sense of, yeah, all right, we all want to make money and we all want to sell products, but it is really about helping people and giving them a better quality of life.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you very much. I love that feedback. All right. So let's move on now Sophia, if you can mute yourself now, that's brilliant. So Viv Proctor, are you there? Viv, are you there? If you could just unmute yourself. Often takes a little bit of time for people to see you. Bottom left, if you want to unmute yourself. Viv, are you there? I think you are. I know you are, because you came on and said you were going to do something. So Viv, are you there? All right, well, she may come on a little bit later on. Okay, so let's move on now. Sean, are you there?
Yes.
Sean,
Can you hear me?
fantastic. Yes.
Awesome.
Sean is called That Guy Who Loves the Universe, and he's got 15,000 people following him on Facebook so far. So, Sean, just tell us, this is the first conference you've ever been to
Yes.
for Juice Plus. Just tell us a little bit about your impressions, your feedback from it.
Well, honestly, I just remember walking into the conference, it being just the most warming, welcoming kind of group of people. And I remember turning around to you, James, and saying, I think I found my people. It really felt like first day at a new organization and you're part of this huge, amazing, vibrant, thriving team. And it was fantastic. I couldn't wait to get involved. I couldn't wait to get on board. And it was just a truly fantastic weekend. Great.
Okay. Well, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Sean. All right. Thank you. That's wonderful. So let's now go to Louise Shepherd. Louise, are you there?
Yep, I've unmuted myself.
Oh, you are so professional. Brilliant. Okay. Right. So, Louise, just tell us a little bit about your impressions.
Well, I went on my own. I didn't know anyone there, and I just found everyone really warm and welcoming. And also, with all the professionals, the doctors and the scientists, I actually did think Juice Plus was a diet product, but I realised it's not, and it's more to do with your health and well-being. Have I lost everyone?
No, you still can't.
So yeah, I was really impressed with it and the atmosphere, and I just felt so inspired, and I felt all the energy. It was the energy in the room as well. It was amazing.
Great. Thank you very much, Louise. That's a wonderful feedback. That's superb. Okay, so let's move on now. And Marcel and Ozra, are you there? I do apologize if I pronounced that wrong, Ozra. But Marcel, are you there? And if you could just unmute yourself and come in. Yeah, brilliant.
Yes, Marcel is still at work, so it's just me.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, good. So tell us, this is your first conference, is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
We are very much new to the business and to network marketing as well. So yes, first conference, and we've just been blown away, really, full of ideas. We came home yesterday buzzing and just, having write things down, and we just really inspired and really excited. We really feel like part of big family, wonderful people, and really inspiring speakers as well. So a lot of ideas, and yes, very positive.
Good, thank you. That's wonderful. Good. All right, so let's go on now, and let's. I think Jerry wanted to say something. Jerry, and Jerry, are you on? Jerry, Ggerry.
Yes, me.
Yeah. Oh, Jerry. Sorry. Yeah, brilliant. Sorry. Of course, I know you. Yeah. So, Jerry, just tell us a little bit about your feedback. Was this your first conference?
Oh, yeah. I've only been here in the business about 3 weeks, and it was fantastic. I was just amazed, and so I didn't quite know what to expect, and had a great party on Saturday night. It was very good. But I was one thing really struck me was meet with Mitra Ray. I suddenly understood about reprogramming your enteric brain, and that seems to be how the products work. It's sort of eventually you want to kind of start eating more vegetables and more fruits, and that's because I think your enteric brain is changing, because the microbiome is changing in it, which I really am quite interested in.
Brilliant.
So I was really impressed. I had a lovely time, lovely people, fantastic people. Good. And I was made to feel very welcome by everybody, which was really great.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much indeed. So let's now go to, thank you for that. Let's go to Viv. Viv, I know you're back with us. You're with us now. Viv Proctor. Can you come on, Viv? Just unmute yourself and tell us what you thought. Viv. Are you there? I know you're there because you just said you wanted to come on. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Yes, is this correct? No, I don't think so. All right, so moving on. Now, Ellie, are you there? Ellie.
James,
Hi.
good evening.
Good evening, Ellie. You're so welcome. So just tell us a little bit. This is your first conference?
My first big conference, Reading was the last
Right, so
time I went.
this is your first major conference. So what did you feel? What was your thinking about it?
Oh, absolutely blown away. The whole weekend, start to finish, was incredible. Jeff Roberti, definitely a highlight for me. And also, there's lots of people that doubt that I can do the business and doubt the product. And if they'd have been there for the health panel and for the sports panel, so it's really my goal to get people for the next conference now. Because, yeah, it's incredible.
Great. Okay, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Right. Thank you, Ellie. Right, Stewie, are you on? Stewie.
Hello there, James.
Hello. Oh, yeah, come on. Fantastic. So, Stewie, yeah, good to see you. So, and now you're from Liverpool as well, aren't you?
Yes, well, we're just outside, but no one really knows the town, so it's easy to say Liverpool.
Okay. So, Stewie, just tell us a little bit about your impressions. What were you feeling about it?
I was absolutely blown away. The first event I went to was in Cardiff, and then I was really getting an idea of what like this Juice Plus family was all about. So I was really optimistic about the weekend. But I mean, all of the speakers were just, even now, like I've been telling everyone back at work, I was just blown away with the knowledge by like obviously Dr. Mitra Ray and Nigel Eccles, and obviously the glam party was great because it was good to see everyone in the daytime, but like in the nighttime, everyone's just starting to let the hair down. And obviously, I love to dance myself, so it was good to be on a dance floor. And it was absolutely amazing. It was just more than what I expected. But my plan now is to try and get more people to come next time. So.
Okay, good. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later on at the end, for we'll be talking about the conference in Bournemouth. Great, Stewie. Thank you very much. Great. Okay, so moving on now. Obviously, we've had the real excitement of the conference, and we're all we're really not just. I think I'm not just excited, but we've just got such a sense of certainty now. I think such a deep sense of certainty about what's going to happen, and I think our conferences are just going to go massive. 10, 20,000. I really can see that easily in the UK. All right, so Gordon, are you there? I just want to talk us through the next steps. So let's say that someone says, Gordon?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Can you try and turn the sound down your end, because they're going to look like an echo?
You switch off the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Turn it down a bit. You see?
Yeah. Okay, so let's just talk about, the next steps and the 90-day plan. And if I was to ask you, what would be the first thing? I would imagine you would really want to say something about goal.
Yeah, I mean, so many people come away from the conference and they are excited, and it's really putting that excitement and into action. I mean, Bob Burdick kind of said yesterday in our wrap-up that, there was someone in the States, he'd actually won $6 million because he had a lottery ticket and he forgot to actually cash it in. He'd actually gone past the expiry date, and he lost out on $6 million. But we've got a lottery ticket for $6 million in our hands right now. Mm-hmm. And what we've got to do is put a plan of action together. So if I was someone, and I've already had a number of conversations just exactly along this line, the first thing I'd do is I'd sit my sponsor down. I'd get together with, if my sponsor's not someone who's active in the business, I'd get my buddy. If I haven't got a buddy, I'd find someone who's cross-line for me, who's actually in exactly the same situation. And I'd actually map out the next 90 days. And I think that's important, because what we do today is going to kind of actually transmit itself in 90 days' time. So whenever I see people that haven't had success and not doing too well, I asked them, what did you do back in October and November? Where were you in August and September? And, then we decide on how that's actually happening. And what tends to happen is they went to sleep during those 2 months. And then, it's actually kind of fast forward. They're expecting results now. It doesn't quite work like that in our business. So the first thing I would do is get hey, we had a session with Brian Main in January, and he gave us all these beautiful goal maps. Do you remember all these things? I wonder how many people filled them in, but now's the time to get your goal map out. Now's the time to start filling that in with your sponsor. And simple things like, what position do you want to be in 90 days? What kind of team do you want to have in 90 days? And what kind of income level do you want to have in 90 days? That's as simple as it gets, really, or as complicated as it gets. And then step 2 would be, really kind of let's see who you want in your team. Again, sitting down with your sponsor or even your upline, going further, wherever you want to go. There we go, Steve. Well done. You've got your kind of map there. I think the thing that I picked up from the conference, and especially from people like Sinead Kavanagh, start to look at your customers. Look at the people within your own customer group that's actually active there, that's had a fantastic response. Go back to them, because they could become your best distributors. And we talk about this, but whether we do it or not, and I think that's something that I picked up, that you need to start to develop that. Write your list out. I mean, network on purpose. I'm always writing a list.
Okay. Stunning picture here. Gordon will come back in just a moment. This normally happens. I mean, it doesn't always happen like this, but the person will normally come back. So, okay, all right. So, okay, right. Well, Gordon's not there at the moment, so I'm going to keep going. All right. So, as Gordon was saying, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking amongst our customers to see who the most active people are and to who've got the best stories. And it does seem that the best distributors are actually the most convinced customers. And I think this is such a key thing for us to take on board. And that's something I'm very, very excited about. I talked to Rick Ravey, the brother of Katie Ravey. And he said, we never sponsor anyone, James, without a Juice Plus story. And I thought, wow. That's such a fantastic fundamental thing that we must just keep grasping. So we want everyone to have a story.
Sorry about that, James.
Yeah, good. All right, so we've gone through that. So let's just talk a little bit about the type of events that people might want to attend in the 90 days.
Well, the events are fairly simple. I mean, they do select themselves. This is an event. And I do believe that these Monday night Zoom calls are going to be kind of essential to help you build your business so that you can actually start to take people in. And I picked up from a couple of people, Jeff Montague-Smith, for instance. He makes people jump through hoops to deserve his time. And what he allows people to do is to come in and have a look at our business to see whether or not they want to actually participate. So he allows them to come onto these calls, allows them to see what they've got to do. Then if they're committed to it, he gets them to jump through another hoop to see whether or not they'll put their names together, to see whether or not they've got the goals that he wants to work with. So these kind of events are great. We're also running every Tuesday, as of not the next tomorrow, but the week on Tuesday, a regular business opportunity meeting with a product presentation and a business opportunity. And that's got to be a way to spread the word around the place.
On Zoom.
Yeah, Facebook parties, we've heard this before. I think it's something of the future. We've got to embrace the technology and the new era that's coming through. And again, it's a lovely, easy way to work from home, to actually run a Facebook party. And if you don't know how to look at Facebook party, just Google it. I mean, the guys are out there. It's on YouTube. There's a couple of great kind of hints and tips on how to do one. Again, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like to do coffee mornings. I like to do in-home meetings. These are all fantastic events that you can actually do yourself. And these are feeder events that will take you into the bigger events. And I've now found out that the company are only going to do 2 meetings a year. 2 meetings a year. And there are going to be 2 conventions one in the spring and one in the autumn, and that's all they'll be funding. And it's very similar to America. That's all that they do. So we need to plan and build between conference to conference, and that's what these events are really good for.
Good, thanks very much. And then what would you say as the final point on this? What would you say about the whole issue of daily method of operation? Because this seems to be a really critical thing.
Yeah, it's the most critical thing, James. And, we've talked about this more and more. Unless you have a daily method of operation, a DMO, you're not going to attract the kind of numbers that you need to have if you're going to kind of fulfill your goals. And, we heard it from the stage, 825+1 is probably the easiest DMO that you can actually kind of start to go after. And that's actually 5 customers plus 1 new distributor every single month. And, that's probably the easiest thing. For people that want to set even more serious goals, then they need to be doing 2 825+1s, or they need to be just going out there and speaking to as many people. But you need to be doubling your efforts if you want to do this a little bit quicker. The DMO is something that you need to stick to. It's something that you need to write out every single day. I sat next to NMD in one of the meetings, and I turned around to her and I said, wow, I saw your figures in January, I saw your figures in December, you did 30, 40 customers and you brought in 3 or 4 new people each month. How did you do that? And she said, I wrote out my DMO every single morning. Every single morning. I put my goals at the top of the page for the month, and my goals for the 90 days I had on a separate page, and I related it to a DMO that I wrote out every single morning. And I thought that's fantastic. And I remember within our own team, there was a lady who came to last conference. She decided she would do a DMO and just speak to 2 people a day. 2 people a day, and follow up on those 2 people. And that's the key to our business. The fortune is in the follow-up. If we don't follow people up, we're doing them a disservice. The other thing that I found that a great DMO you need to have is to start to build a Facebook page. Not just one, but several Facebook pages if you want to do that, to attract more people into it. So you might have a Facebook page if you're a young mum and you want to attract other young mums. Maybe that's the kind of Facebook page you pick up. If you're a married couple and you want to attract other married couples who are looking for a part-time income to run alongside what they do, maybe that's a Facebook page you set up. If you're an over 50, and there's a few of us maybe on the call that might be over 50, you might want to set up a Facebook page on that one as well. So, those are all mechanisms that you can use to set up your DMO, but those are the things that you need to be adding to every day. And this girl was showing me, she adds in 20 or 30 new names to those Facebook pages every single day. And then when you start to speak about it, and Sinead Kavanagh spoke about this in her presentation, you're not speaking to 1 or 2 or 20 or 30 or 200 people. You're speaking to several thousand people at a time. Are you going to get more results if you do that? Of course you are. And that's what, I think people need to do to move forward.
Fantastic, Gordon. Okay, good. Well, look, we're just, in a sense, we're sort of finished the official part of the call now. I'm going to just promote some upcoming events in a moment. But if you've got any particular questions that you'd like to ask, what we find is the simplest way to do this is to send through a question on the chat, right? So if you've got a question you'd like to ask, or you'd like us to cover anything right now, since we're all on the call, then just put it through on the chat and we'll answer that question. It's a lot easier than just opening up the lines and suddenly everybody just speaking at once. So if you've got anything you want to ask at this moment, then if you would just put that on the chat, you'll see the button down the bottom. It's got a cloud button above the chat, and you can write in it, and then we'll see that and we will answer that. So I'm just waiting to look and see on that screen, but as we do that, I just want to talk to you very quickly about a couple of things. The first thing I want to talk to you about is that the conference tickets for Bournemouth, the special price, which is I think half price, has been extended up until midnight tonight. So that is a really critical thing to focus on, to get those tickets in advance, and obviously at a really, really good price. Okay, so that's good. Also, and I'm going to ask James Knight just to talk in a moment about some of the events that are coming up their end in Wales, but we also have, following up the incredibly successful Vision Day that we had in January, we're going to be having another one in Swindon on April the 9th, Saturday, April the 9th. So get that in your diary. The last one was a huge success. We're going to follow the same format. We're going to have a personal development speaker in the afternoon, but it was just absolutely fantastic, the last one. So that's April the 9th. So James, would you just like to tell us a little bit about some of the things that are coming up your end?
Yeah, basically we've got an event booked in for, I think, the 13th. Sue, if you're on, can you back me up? Sue Worrell?
Okay.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I'm unmuting, sorry. Yes, it is the 13th, Sunday the 13th.
All right, cool.
What are you going to be doing there?
We've got
the way forward.
Right, perfect.
All right, so we've got a training on there. Anyone's welcome for that. And then we've got on the 12th, Susie Mitchell is coming down to do an event there, product and business. So that's on the 12th of April, that one. So, yeah.
Okay, jolly good. That's absolutely excellent. Okay, yes, there is a link for the tickets for Bournemouth, Tony, and you can find that on Simon Bowler's Facebook page. I think that's the best place to go. And it's also on the Aquila network. Aquila members page as well. Okay, there's a big Brighton event on March the 10th as well. Alex has just told us. I think John Holowati is going to be at that, so watch out for that. That's going to be very, very exciting. I'm also going to be in Berlin on Saturday the 12th of March. So if you've got anyone in Berlin, let me know, and I will see them for you. That's no problem at all. The Brighton event has also got Jeff Montague-Smith as well at that. Now, also, another very, very important thing is that we've got regular events in different cities. Now, I know there's going to be one in Liverpool on, I think, May the 15th, or the middle of May, with John Holowati, so that's going to be good. So look out for information about that. Then we have our London event this Thursday, and that's at Down to Earth Cafe in Kensington High Street, and that's from 7:30 till 9, and that is always a fantastic event. So we show talk about the business, and we also talk about the product. We're also working on a completely new concept of event called The Amazing Power of Plants, which is going to be starting in London in April, and we're going to do that once a month, and that's going to be just for customers. We're not going to be talking about the business. We're just talking about just for customers, and it's all about reinforcing information about the product. So the customers get really, really excited about not just the product they're taking, but lots of other products that they could be taking as well. So that's something we're working on, and I think we're going to be running an Amazing Power Plants in Brighton quite soon as well, but we just haven't quite got the date for that yet. I think someone asked a question about, Lindsay asked a question, what's an example of a successful DMO plan? And we just don't have time to go over that now, Lindsay, but if you would go through to your upline or your upline NMD, they will be able to talk you through that, and probably the best thing to do is to do a Skype call or something ASAP on that, and they will be able to take you through on that. So Gordon is also going to be in Phoenix in March. So Gordon, just very quickly, would you like to tell us what's going on in Phoenix? Tell us about that.
Yeah, a couple of things. It's the USA convention over there in Phoenix, and that is going to be on the 17th, the 18th, 19th of March, so Friday, Saturday, and that's at downtown Phoenix. And their conventions over there, we've got 3,000 people to Birmingham. They're good. You see double that. Obviously, their big focus, and one of the reasons that I'm going to be over there is that I'm one of a few selected national marketing directors who are actually being singled out to start to do a pilot for the European movement of the Tower Gardens. So I'm going to take a farming degree while I'm out there.
Yeah. Tell us about the Tower Garden. What is the Tower Garden?
The Tower Gardens is a hydroponic, vertical growing garden that you can actually put anywhere. You can put it in a windowsill, you can put it in the decking, you can put it outside in a balcony or whatever. And the idea that it uses liquid organic feed liquid to actually grow the produce. And the produce grows that much quicker. It's much easier to grow. The actual harvest time is much shorter. And in the States, they've had this for about 2 years now, and it's been massively successful. And they're going to, pilot study is going to be rolling it out. There's about 25 of us, I think, going to be over there, and literally they are taking us to a farm and showing us what to do and how they do it, and give us the benefit of their advice, etc. So I'm mega excited about that. But if anyone's got somebody in America that needs to come to the conference, then this is a great opportunity to take advantage of the fact that I'm going to be there. I'm not going to be alone. I've got James Knight, who is going to be the director of social activity over there, and he's managed to kind of get himself into all sorts of bits and pieces. It's going to be Dan Furlong's coming as well, so there'll be 3 of us there. So if you do want anything additional to that, James, do you want to come in and say any more about what we've got arranged?
No, I would just say very quickly about the Tower Garden. And I mean that the Tower Garden is something that people probably haven't heard about, but people are very, very excited about. And this company is 100% owned by the Juice Plus company, so it's not a supplier. It's 100% owned by the Juice Plus company, and J. Martin bought it on the spot. So he went to visit the company, he heard about it, and he just bought it on the spot. And it is something that we are very, very excited about, because it is reinforcing everything that we're all about, which is, that we are the world's largest plant-based nutrition company in the world. That is who we are. And to have the Tower Garden as well just reinforces it even more, because we are in the business of helping people eat a much better diet.
We've also got an event, James, in New Jersey. On the New Jersey, USA, we have an event on the 21st of March. So straight from Phoenix. Dan's already got the room and venue. We've teamed up with a load of team out there to get that moving in New Jersey. So if you know anyone, send them that way.
That's the 21st of March.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, so that's a Monday night. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, all right, everyone. I think we've covered pretty much everything. We're just over in terms of time, but we always like to open it up at the end for the questions, and I think those have been extremely valuable. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. If you've got more questions, obviously, which I'm sure you do, particularly being to the conference for the first time, please do ask the person who invited you to the conference or your upline, or at least just keep asking until you get the answers to your questions. But other than that, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. I think, as I said at the beginning, we are so beyond excitement in terms of everything that's happening, and we've just got to grasp this now. We've just got to take it, because I have to say the number one thing I came back from was fear of loss. Huge fear of loss, that my God, something enormous is happening here. We just have to, all of us, grasp it. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Good night, and look forward to seeing you very soon, and you farewell. Okay, good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. 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 Bye.